TomoNews presents Joyrides.
Yeehaw! Oh yeah!
YouTube's at least good for something. An Ohio boy proved that neither age nor lack of a driver's license should stop you from satisfying an intense craving for fast food. The 8-year-old's deep hankering for a cheeseburger prompted him to look up how to drive on YouTube. While his parents were fast asleep, the kid got the keys to his dad's locked van and took his 4-year-old sister on a short drive to the nearest McDonald's. Amazingly, the boy didn't hit anything along the way. He followed traffic rules and seemed to drive a hell of a lot better than most adults. McDonald's workers thought they were being pranked when the kid and his sister pulled up in the van, but it soon became clear they were unsupervised minors. After a cop arrived to talk to the boy, the kid realized he might be in trouble and burst out crying. The authorities were more amused than anything else and won't be filing any charges. The kids were later picked up by their parents, but only after they'd had their fill of cheeseburgers, fries, and nuggets. And even though the boy might still get grounded for life, at least he got his fast food dreams fulfilled.
Jonathan Dugan and Matthew Murphy are proof of the old saw that only stupid criminals get caught. Dugan and Murphy, both from Manchester, have been jailed for over 9 years each after they admitted to conspiring to steal across North Manchester, Bury, and Salford. The thefts happened between November 2012 and June 2013. The duo normally broke into houses, took car keys, and stole valuables. They then posted pictures of themselves with stolen vehicles and their glamorous lifestyle on Facebook. Among the victims were a couple who were both being treated for cancer. Dugan and Murphy took their Honda Accord, which was found smashed into a tree in Openshaw in Manchester after a 70-mile-per-hour police chase. The pair were finally caught after Greater Manchester Police found evidence of their heists on Facebook. A third thief, Daniel Brees, is due to be sentenced next month after he admitted to conspiracy to steal. Manchester Crown Court heard how they had blighted the lives of householders after they were linked to 14 thefts and robberies.
Florida teen's joyride ends after 2 crashes involving 4 cars, a helicopter ride, and a YouTube video. Robert Charles Kelly IV of New Smyrna Beach was arrested at his home for being a dumbass. Okay, that's not a crime, but leaving the scene of a crash, reckless driving, and driving without a license are. Thinking it was a good idea to videotape it with a dash cam warrants another award. Kelly started recording his Darwin Award application within a few blocks of his home on 13th Avenue. He drove like a maniac for about 5 minutes before smashing into a sedan near Jungle Road at 3:30 p.m. After fleeing the scene, he crashed into an SUV at high speed near Colony Park Road, causing the woman driving the SUV to hit 2 other vehicles. Kelly's vehicle was totaled in the crash, and Kelly was airlifted to Halifax Health Medical Center. Emergency personnel said the Joyrider was trying to make Skype calls while they were trying to give him medical attention. After he was released from the hospital, he uploaded the dashcam video titled "Me Driving Like an Idiot" and was arrested the following day. Police grabbed the video from the web as evidence against Kelly, who was being held on $46,000 bond.
Maserati salesman killed in car crash after live streaming his Joyride. This is Maserati car salesman Brandon Guy Giannopoulos from Denver, Colorado. Over the weekend, Giannopoulos was killed in a suspected high-speed car crash in Highlands Ranch after a video of him joyriding was streamed live to his Facebook account. At work, Giannopoulos had access to a slew of high-end Maserati vehicles, and boy do they go fast. On Friday night, he took one of his dealership's vehicles out for a spin. That same night, this soundless video was streamed on Facebook Live to Giannopoulos' account. In it, a Maserati speed dial is seen going from 0 to 111 miles per hour in the space of around 20 seconds. It's unknown if the video factored into the accident, but the cops say reckless speeding certainly did. At some point on Friday night, it's believed the car crashed while Giannopoulos was driving dangerously fast. The following morning, the vehicle wreckage was spotted in a retention pond, not far from the dealership. Giannopoulos was found dead inside. He was 24 years old and had just started working for the dealership in October. Here's some more videos about car crashes. Speedster crashes car after live streaming himself driving at over 100 miles per hour. What are some things you shouldn't do while driving? Well, speeding and Facebook live streaming come to mind. And what is Pawtucket, Rhode Island dude Onassi Olio Rojas doing here? Pretty much just that. Spoiler alert, it doesn't end well for him or the car. The 20-year-old was in Providence Wednesday, driving at speeds of up to 110 miles per hour on US Route 6, all the while recording it for his buddies to see on Facebook Live. This video lasts an entire 3 minutes. Oh yeah, we forgot to mention he's not wearing a seatbelt. Doesn't he know he should always wear a seatbelt when live speeding? Anyway, it all came to an end when Rojas lost control of the car and started spinning. He rear-ended a garbage truck coming onto the highway before being bounced across the road and into the barrier. Firefighters rescued him from the car, and he's at a local hospital where he's reportedly in fair condition. He was previously reported as critical.
Now, youngins, while some of you may call live streaming while cruising at over 100 miles per hour cool, badass, or whatevs,
The police have another name for it: evidence. Police told local channel WPRI 12 that when Rojas recovers, he'll be arraigned in hospital, and that the video pretty much makes the case against him. Baby thrown from car in accident and lives. Last Friday night, 8-month-old Bryce Hale was traveling by car with her mom, Justice Lawson, and some other family and friends. Her grandma, Trina Johnson, was driving. They were on Interstate 30 in Texarkana, Arkansas, when suddenly an 18-wheeler reportedly sideswiped their car. This made the vehicle flip, ejecting Bryce in the process. Her family hunted high and low for her, but to no avail. Lawson, Bryce's mama, said looking for her was the worst 15 minutes of her life. But amazingly, firefighters and a Good Samaritan soon discovered the baby in a nearby drainage ditch, just waiting for them to get her out. This was some 25 feet from where the accident occurred. Authorities reckon she rolled down a hill and into the drain after the crash. But what's even more astounding is that Bryce came out of the ordeal with nothing more than a scratch on her forehead. All of the passengers are now out of the hospital, except for Bryce's grandma Trina, who was hit by a passing vehicle following the crash. As it turns out, Bryce wasn't properly restrained, but the family wasn't cited for the infraction. The driver of the truck, on the other hand, received a citation for making an unsafe lane change. Well, that's something you don't see every day. Residents of a group home in Winston-Salem, North Carolina got a shocking surprise when an SUV crash-landed in their living room on Friday. The 84-year-old driver had a medical emergency while driving and passed out behind the wheel. Her vehicle continued down the road at 70 to 90 miles per hour. It sped past an intersection before hitting a curb and going up an embankment. The white Buick SUV was then launched into the air and crashed through the roof of a nearby autistic care facility, landing right in the home's living room. Witnesses broke the house's front window to help free residents trapped inside, as well as comfort the scared and confused driver. Luckily, she had only minor injuries, and no one inside the house was hurt. Firefighters later removed the car, pulling it back out through the hole in the roof.
Monkey hijacks passenger bus and goes on hilarious joyride. Boy oh boy, do we wish this was actually a photo of the badass monkey that stole and crashed a passenger bus in northern India on Monday. But sadly, it's just a representative photo. The story's still epic though, and here's a quick rundown of what happened. A driver, dozing off in the back of his bus in the city of Bareilly, failed to notice a monkey sneaking in. The city's reportedly been having a bit of a monkey problem, but this little primate definitely took things to another level. The monkey somehow managed to start the bus's engine, and by the time the driver noticed something was up, it was already too late. He tried to chase away the creature, but scared it, causing the panicked monkey to accidentally shift the vehicle into second gear. And the poor driver could only helplessly watch as his vehicle crashed into two other parked buses. Luckily though, no bystanders were injured, but local police have yet to issue a warrant for the arrest of the joyriding monkey.
9-year-old car thief pulled over by teen. Grandmothers must be doing something right in West Bend, Wisconsin, because a pair of boys, aged 9 and 4, actually stole a car to visit their wrinkled relative on Saturday. The two boys rode their bikes to Cedar Lake boat sales, where they spotted an employee's car with the keys in the ignition. They tossed their bikes in the back seat and said, "Forget this over the river and through the woods junk, we got us a whip." Caden Duck was driving down Highway 44 on his way to his uncle's house when he spotted the 9-year-old boy hugging the steering wheel in the car next to him. Duck knew that he had to do something, so he followed the little Lightning McQueens as they dodged oncoming traffic. The speed limit was 35, and they were doing at least 70. I had to get around them at 85 miles per hour, Duck said. The kids finally pulled over, and the teens that helped would be called heroes for their actions. Officers arrived on the scene, then returned the boys to their family and the car to its owner. No charges are being pressed against the pint-sized carjackers who traveled over 5 miles during the joyride.
Former MTA driver told cops she was being followed. A former bus driver took a New York City bus on a joyride Tuesday after being asked not to smoke. Sharita Headley, who was fired last July for extended absence, was riding the M101 bus along 3rd Avenue Tuesday morning when she lit up a cigarette. The driver saw her smoking and asked her to put it out, but she refused. The driver called for another bus and was busy transferring the passengers to the backup vehicle when Headley jumped into the driver's seat and sped off. She drove about 4 blocks before another bus managed to force her to stop. An MTA worker was then able to reach in through the window and shut off the bus's engine. Police then boarded the bus and arrested Headley, who told them she had stolen the bus because people were following her. She was taken to Metropolitan Hospital for a psychiatric evaluation. Headley was charged with unauthorized use of a motor vehicle and faces up to 1 year in jail if found guilty.
Shopping cart joyride goes horribly wrong in Sydney. For this 28-year-old Swedish man, a midnight thrill rolling down a hill ended horrifically when he and his friend decided to take this shopping cart for a spin. After a night out, Robin Walgren and one of his best mates found a shopping cart on the side of the road. Walgren got into the cart while his buddy hopped on the back. The two started rolling down Coogee Bay Road. Carefree, they began picking up speed, racing down the steep road at about 50 miles per hour. Little did they know, a car was coming the other way around the bend at about 37 miles per hour. And unfortunately for the two dudes, shopping carts aren't known for having a great turning ability. The cart crashed into the car with Walgren's friend landing on the side of the road, badly injuring his knee but still alive. Walgren wasn't so lucky, shooting out of the shopping trolley and landing meters away on a curb. He died at the scene from critical head injuries. The driver of the car was said to be going the speed limit and passed a breathalyzer test on site. It's a real shame those things don't have a built-in braking system.
Pennsylvania man takes woman on 30-minute joyride in a fire truck. Okay, this one's a toss-up. Did the dude play too many video games, or did he listen to Roxette's Joyride one too many times? In any case, 47-year-old Bridgewater, Pennsylvania man Randy Allen Davidson is hardly the first guy to try to impress a girl with his wheels. But in late May, the Beaver County Times reports Davidson's idea of showing his lady friend a good time landed him in the slammer. At about midnight, Davidson allegedly snuck into a fire station and grabbed the keys to a fire truck. Trouble was, Davidson might have thought he was Invisible Man, but he was quite visible to the firefighters at the station. Davidson, who is not in any way a firefighter, drove off with his date in the fire truck, and yep, the real firefighters called the cops. After 30 minutes of ecstatic joyriding, Davidson ended his little adventure, parking the truck back in its proper berth and returning the keys to their original position. No harm, no foul, right? Cops were waiting and said, "Hello, you fool, you're busted." On a final note, TomoNews reports that surveys show most women rate eye contact and flowers as preferable to joyrides in fire trucks.
5 members of the same family were killed when a late-night hill-jumping joyride in Illinois ended in a crash. The husband of a young woman stayed behind when the party of 6 piled into the Chevy Trailblazer. They sped along Thrill Hills, a 4-mile stretch of road in Hamilton County, known to locals for 4 slopes that are perfect for hill jumping. After the 4th hill, the family crashed and the SUV rolled over several times, throwing out everybody but the one person wearing a seatbelt. He was found trapped inside the wreck. The driver, Daryl DeLong, was the only survivor. He is currently in critical condition.
A lifelong dream to ride a Harley Davidson ended with a cruel, ironic twist for a Wyoming man. For 44 years, Barry Strang had longed for a Harley Davidson of his own. As he was reaching semi-retirement at 59 years old, his wife finally agreed to what she thought was a dangerous pastime. Stang bought himself a clean, simple motorcycle he thought suited him. His wife, too afraid to ride with her husband, waved goodbye to him as he set off on his first ever ride on the motorcycle. However, tragedy struck in the form of a right-hand turn and a tractor truck. Strang was killed on impact when his bike became stuck under the tractor truck and his helmet flew off. His family said they felt comforted to know Barry Strang died happy.